Why do I share so much about my life, my personal experiences, things that I like, things that energize me, things that disturb me, that make me really, really sad? It's because my stories matter. And this Women's Month, I've been thinking about the power of sharing our stories, right? And it got me reflecting on instances where I inspired other people just by sharing my story. And I'm not talking about sitting around in a big room and we all know, ooh, it's story time. I was going to tell us the story. No, that's not what I'm referring to. I'm referring to those everyday occurrences where you're just sharing stuff about yourself. I remember I was attending a masterclass in Santon, and I was in the audience. So I asked the question to the people on stage. And immediately after the masterclass ended, this one woman came up to me and she was like, wow, Mayo, I loved the way you asked that question. You were so confident and so poised. Wow. I just want to connect with you. So I'm like, okay, cool, no problem. So we exchanged numbers. And a few days later, she then sent me a message on WhatsApp saying that, she's glad we've connected, etc., etc. And I'm like, okay, cool, no problem. And over the next few days, I noticed that she was always sending me a little heart or liking my WhatsApp statuses. So if you're connected with me on my phone, you'll know that I absolutely love posting WhatsApp statuses. And most of them are around inspirational content, to motivate people to become more of who they want to be. So she really, really connected with my WhatsApp statuses. And then she sent me another message saying, this is exactly what I need in my life right now, Mayo. Please don't stop sharing these posts on WhatsApp, your statuses. You're doing an incredibly good job. And I'll reach out to you in time when I'm ready to go on a coaching journey. But for now, thank you. Thumbs up. So I was in awe. I was like, wow. Something that I often take for granted, finding quotes, writing my own stuff, finding videos and just sharing it. For me, it's become kind of routine, but for her, it was transformative. And in as much as I do it from a place of wanting to inspire, I guess I also became used to just doing it because, hey, this is what I do. But it reminded me of the impact that it has on people, right? So that's a seemingly non-event kind of story, right? It's just engaging with someone. And then in another instance, I was attending a meeting with other coaches. We were working on a project together. And the small talk that we make at the beginning of a meeting, when people are saying, oh, how are you? What's happening? Let's give it 2 minutes and wait for other people to join the meeting, etc. So during that time, somebody said, Mayo, and how are you? And I proceeded to tell them exactly how I was. I was like, no, I'm good. I'm looking forward to cooking dinner. I've defrosted my beef. I'm going to be helping my daughter with her homework. And I'm struggling with this one dreadlock that keeps snapping. I don't know why it's so weak. So the meeting then began after a few minutes. And, I didn't think much of it. It was just a routine meeting that we were having. And then the next day, one of the attendants in the meeting called me. She's like, wow, Mayo, the way you spoke. And I'm like, really? She's like, yeah, the way you introduced yourself, it really got me thinking about how much I censor myself, how much I silence myself, because I tend to think that my story doesn't matter, that people don't want to hear anything about me. Now imagine if I had had that same attitude, if I was thinking, oh, I'm not going to tell people how I am. Oh, no, I can't tell them about my misbehaving dreadlock and my beef that's just defrosting in the microwave, right? If I had thought that, then I wouldn't have made that connection with her where I indirectly gave her permission to also share her stories. So she drew inspiration from that, right? So from these two stories, can you see the power of sharing our stories? Can you see why our individual stories matter? There's always somebody listening and you just don't know what it'll unlock for them. You don't know what hope what healing it'll bring for them by you just being yourself. And this Women's Month, I really want to encourage all women to share their beautiful, beautiful stories, to share their voice, to share who they are and what's happening. I'm also reminded of a time where I was inspired, where I was sitting in the audience and somebody was talking on stage. And that was when I saw an incredibly gifted, powerful, talented speaker called Encromel Andrew. So I'd just started my business and I attended, what are those things called? A Toastmasters meeting in my area. So it was Encromel's turn to speak, and she was on stage and moving to the left, to the right, and her hands and her voice. It's like she had us in the palms of her hand. I couldn't keep my eyes off her. I was just watching her. And I'm sure my mouth was like this at some point. Because she was just amazing. Her message, her stage presence was like, wow, I want to be like that. And I did what the other two women did to me. So I went up to Encromel afterwards and I was like, oh my gosh, you are amazing. We have to be friends. I need to keep in touch with you. You need to mentor me. I need to learn how to speak like that. And in time, me and Encromel formed a beautiful friendship where we engage with each other, mentor each other, coach each other. We really add value to each other's businesses, each other's careers. And it's been such a powerful experience, which all began by Encromel standing on that stage, sharing her story. But it's in the small little things as well, where people are watching, where people are taking note and thinking to themselves, wow, if she can do it, if she can say it, so can I. All right? So be encouraged to share your story this Women's Month. Take care. Bye.